Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad. This is the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 131 on May 8th, 2019. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hi, Clyde and everybody.
Jimmy Trammell.
Hello, everyone. Full squad tonight.
Yeah, and Michael Aston.
Howdy, y'all.
So everybody is back. I don't know. Can we figure out how to do this? You know,
No.
Everybody talking over each other. Too many people. Too many places.
No, it's not possible to do that. You have to understand.
Okay, well, it's not possible. So maybe we shouldn't do it. Thanks everybody for joining. There wasn't really much to talk about this week anyway, so that's fine. We could just go straight to the movie draft minute and call it.
No. It's not possible for us to figure out the formula needed to make sure we show up at the same time. It's completely possible for us to all fill your eyes with boring and interesting and weird stuff.
Okay.
We can do that.
All right.
Yes, we do.
You
right.
Make a compelling point. But, this week is probably the best week of every year.
Okay.
It's Google I/O.
You really like your Google I/O? Okay.
There's usually stuff that makes me go, Google!
Is that a good Google or bad Google? It looks like a bad Google.
That's usually. It's like, what are you doing? So, yeah, we'll set that stuff aside and we'll get into that because this last year there wasn't really a lot that pertained to what we like to talk about. This year, they kind of got their act together. They realized they left us high and dry last year, so they made up for it.
Okay.
But yeah. So that being said, why don't we let's get into the boring stuff before we get to Google. What's the first boring story that nobody cares about?
Well, the first boring story has to do with Vudu. Vudu is, of course, going to be coming out with their own original shows, which we talked about maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
it's about them. They are coming out with their own shows, but they've also decided to announce that they're going to be coming out with some of that interactive content that we've been seeing on the likes of Netflix. This means that they are going to be coming out with shows that you will be able to choose. What kind of ending you want to the show. So. This must be a trend. Is to a trend? I don't know. We're going to see this coming from anybody else.
So Walmart is hopping on the Bandersnatch.
Kind of.
All right.
Yeah.
There seems to be interest. This is a burgeoning market. Technology. People are interested because there hasn't really been a lot. So. For now, it would be like when the 3D TVs first came out, and then everybody either wanted one or wanted to sell one, and then eventually people just said, I don't care anymore. So
that's right.
So, I mean, if Walmart's going to get into it, now's the time.
Right. And it looks like they've confirmed that these are going to be not in any way premium. You don't have to pay for them. Just like all of the other Vudu shows, you're going to be able to watch these ones with ads. So
now imagine if the interactivity or the ads are based around your interactivity. If you make a wrong turn, then you get like 3 ads. If you go the right way, you get like 1 ad.
That would be cool. Yeah. I mean, the really great thing about this is that more people are exploring alternatives to traditional film, right? You record a movie, everybody gets to interact with the director's vision, more or less, and that's what you get. And this is taking this kind of entertainment medium of video, and making it more interactive, changing it and evolving it the way that everything on the internet does. So it's actually really cool and exciting for me. Whether or not this is successful is, in all probability, it's not, right? Like, we're still in the very early days of exploring how to do anything other than straightforward linear movies and TV shows.
Right. It needs 10 to 20 years to actually figure it out.
Well, I mean, in internet time, it's probably 5 or 6 years.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's going to take time for people to master it and to get it right. You know, there may be some gems every once in a while, but it'll take some time. It's awesome that more people are doing it, though, because the more people that do it, the sooner we get to that point where it's actually worth engaging with, and you can actually really enjoy something other than just, like I said, a linear movie or a TV show.
And remember, it's not all they're doing. This is just part of it. I mean, they're casting a wide net, so they'll have a sci-fi show, and they're gonna have a couple. They've already announced a couple reality shows with like Randy Jackson and Queen Latifah, and and then the most important one that's gonna really get everyone to tune in. They're bringing back Blue's Clues.
No.
No word on whether or not Steve will be back.
Well, I agree with what Mike said. I mean, it's good that they're coming up with more creative stuff to get people involved with these, movies or whatever. But I don't know. I think a traditional movie having this kind of, from lack of a better term, gimmick in there, I don't know if it'll do so well. Maybe it will. I don't know. But now doing like the reality shows, right? I mean, imagine if you had a show like Survivor and you get to vote on who gets off the island or whatever.
Oh,
right?
no.
That could probably...
Survivor, 5 people get locked inside a Walmart for like a month.
That would be a good show, I think.
Yeah.
I came up with a pitch for one of those style or like a survival kind of show, and somebody remind me in the after show, and I'll give you guys my pitch.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're right on track there, though, Jimmy. Right? Like, if this is a gimmick, if somebody said, "Hey, let's take this story and turn it into a interactive experience," then yeah, this is going to severely fail. If, on the other hand, somebody had an idea of a way to make an interactive story, and it's not a linear movie with gimmicks added in, then it could potentially be good. Again, we as a society, as artists and creators, I'm not one of them, but the artists and creators out there don't have the experience in doing this yet. I mean, game designers and creators would be more experienced and capable probably than your typical movie producer or movie director, because that's what they do, right? Mm-hmm. So it really does depend on who's doing it, how they're doing it, what the approach is. And if it's a gimmick, then it's going to fail, and it's just going to annoy people. They're going to hate it. But if it's done creatively and well, then it could be potentially really enjoyable and good, or at least keep us moving in the right direction of getting something new to experience in video.
And that's the thing, is right now there's been so little that you don't really know what's going to work and what isn't until you throw stuff out there. And then, once enough's been out there that people didn't like, then they know, okay, let's not do that anymore, and let's focus on the things that do work, and then you can get the really good stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, if you think back, there was probably 5 years ago a YouTube video /game where this guy created, I can't remember what it's called, like The Room or something like that, but not the movie. He created a bunch of little YouTube videos, and at the end of each video, he had used those select boxes to send you to the next video. So you could interact with the video and make the story. It was really cool and a lot of fun, and he spent a ton of time making dozens or even hundreds of little videos, and it actually was really cool. So, it can be done. That was done on a, in somebody's free time with no budget, right?
Right.
So,
all right.
All right. Well, okay. Spotify is doing a new cool suggestions for your podcast when you are wanting to get kind of suggestions. What they're doing is they're taking your commute, and by getting some information from how long your commute is, they're putting together a list of different things, including some news podcasts, some music, and in order to make it so your podcast is basically timed for your time of your commute, which means you will be able to have a variety of different interesting things, hopefully interesting to you because their algorithm, of various music and podcasts that will be timed in order for you to reach your destination on time. Now, according to testing, sometimes that gives you things that you don't necessarily want. Like, apparently there's a podcast that somebody got was completely in a different language. So
it's in Portuguese.
There's still some bugs to work out, apparently.
Yeah. I don't know. I know Spotify knows me very well when it comes to music, but I have never listened to a single podcast through them, so I do not trust their recommendations at this point.
Right. Well, they're also brand new at it. They've only just started doing it, so give them some time.
But yeah, you Spotify takes a while and a lot of information before it really gets a good idea about you. So I don't see this being very effective very soon.
I'm going to just come right out and say I don't like this idea. Quite frankly, I've not really experienced something trying to choose podcasts for me, but
well, also you don't have
know
to.
About that.
Well, the thing is, you don't have to use it. This is showing up. There is a section in Spotify that's called. It's a playlist that it creates for you called Your Daily Drive. So if you click on that, it puts stuff in there. It's kind of like when I'm in my car, I primarily only listen to the playlists that it creates for me because it knows me. And so there's usually 5 or 6 different playlists I have to choose from. Your Daily Drive is an additional playlist that it's just there. If you don't use it, the more you use it, the better it gets, because depending on how, I know in Android Auto, when it plays something, you have an option to thumb it up or thumb it down, and then it knows, oh, you don't like this, and then so it won't do stuff similar to that, and the more stuff you thumb up, thumb down, the better.
After a while, it recognizes the fact that you listen to DTNS every day, you listen to Night Attack, you listen to, and it's mostly going to be podcasts that you've thumbed up as opposed to just randomly selecting something that's similar to. It might take some time to get there though, so that is the downside. Like Clyde was saying, not interested because it'll take too long to get it right.
Yeah. And also, most podcasts I listen to are in excess of an hour, so it takes me several days to get through a podcast because I only listen when I'm in my car.
Yeah.
But
I listen to lots of podcasts, and many of them go over my drive limit. But it's I wouldn't want them to pick something short for me because I actually enjoy the long stuff.
Yeah.
Because I just go at work. I'm usually alone in my office, so I just turn it on and keep working. So I don't know. It doesn't. I don't think it fits me. That's all.
Matt forever alone in his office.
Forever and ever and ever.
Forever alone.
All right. Speaking of being forever alone, that's how you'll feel if you're watching this movie. Sonic the Hedgehog is a new movie that's coming out. Of course, it's coming to the big screen. Kind of announced, to be somewhat in line with the announce of the new Pokemon movie. But there was the reason why this is a story is because there was a gigantic backlash at the design of Sonic on the TV on the trailer, and the amazing thing is the director got back on Twitter and said, "Hey guys," basically I'm paraphrasing. "Yeah, we hear ya. We're gonna fix this before it's launched." So, amazing that there's actually been the feedback happened. B, they're going to make those animators work really hard to make this happen, to make this, back to what people are probably expecting it to. As you can see, that picture on the bottom is somebody photoshopped what they wanted it to look like, and I can't say I disagree.
See,
and
that makes sense.
I'm
looking for the human teeth one because that's what everybody's yelling about, and I can't imagine what the problem is.
Yeah. But C, I really could not see Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik until the very end of that trailer, where suddenly it makes total sense.
I can't honestly. I can't imagine anyone else.
After seeing that, yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the trailer. But when they said that he was, I went, okay. I mean, he's usually good at the over-the-top villain, crazy guy. Here's what everybody was angry about. I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah, I agree. It's not that bad, goodness gracious, guys. But a lot of people hated it because.
I mean, what's he supposed to have? Evil
human.
Pointy teeth, like
No.
Some sort of monster?
No, he's supposed to have cartoon single tooth kind of design, where you don't really get to see in between them.
Well, to be fair, I mean, he's a hedgehog, not a person.
Yeah. But he's a.
But I agree. It's not that bad. I wouldn't have freaked out about it.
No, it's not as bad as Annoying Orange.
Yeah, I didn't know what was wrong with it until people told me. You know, I watched it. I thought it was fine, and was like, "Oh, this is cool. I can watch that." I liked playing Sonic the Hedgehog. So, yeah, whatever. Crazy internet peoples.
Anytime the internet has a chance to go crazy, they're gonna go crazy. So, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's guys. You know what? It's gonna do horribly, no matter what. It's a video game movie. There are no video game movies that have done well. We'll see if Detective Pikachu does okay.
But that's not a video game movie.
Yes, good point. It's related to video games, but you're right.
It's also related to an anime. It's also related to manga. It's also related to a card game. You know, the Pokemon is essentially the Muppets for a younger generation. Kids that grew up in the 90s, it's their Muppets.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, they made 2 of those Mortal Kombat movies, right?
Hey!
Yeah.
And a Street Fighter.
And a Street Fighter.
It isn't the only. There has been one fairly successful video game movie that I can think of off the top of my head. Tomb Raider. The original with Angelina Jolie did well over 100 million, like in 2001.
It made money, but it was a horrible movie.
Yeah, Tomb Raider did
okay. Was successful, didn't you?
Yeah, you did.
No, I said, did I say successful?
Yeah.
I meant good.
You said successful, not good. Though I gotta say,
what about Mario Brothers?
When it came out, I enjoyed it.
No,
Tomb Raider. Yeah, Tomb Raider would.
Ralph, but it's not after a real game. It's just game related, so it doesn't really count.
It's more of a parody.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Okay, but it's not a video game. I was gonna say the new Jumanji or the Jumanji franchise has done good, but
well, and those are good movies. So
yes, but those aren't video games. Those were. Was Jumanji actually a board game?
It was a
the
fictional
book?
game.
it was fictional at first.
Fictional game.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't real.
That's what I thought.
Although I do now own the Jumanji board game.
Now,
which has a
Zathura,
rule in
on
it.
the other hand.
Which it has a rule in it, by the way, that if you somehow lose the game, you have to start over. You're not allowed to. You cannot stop playing until somebody finishes the game.
Yep.
Which is annoying.
Well, that's the whole point of the movie.
I know. My son's like, "Let's play Jumanji," and I'm like, "No, okay."
All right.
If you're not being mean to each other, you can actually do okay with that. But yeah. All right. Hardcore History is a show. I believe it's on History Channel, but I could be wrong. But they've been
wasn't it a podcast?
It might be, but also I think
Dan
it's
Carlin?
actually. I think it actually might be a television show as well. I could be wrong. Yeah, according to this, it is a podcast. They introduced a new VR experience called War Remains, where you, yes, I'm talking to you, are going to be experiencing what it was like to be in World War One. And yeah, that doesn't sound like fun to me. I'm sorry. Apparently, the guy tried guy tried it out, and he was able to see a lot of the various things, and he had areas where he was not comfortable in, where he felt that if he was claustrophobic, he would have had real issues. He got scared a couple times due to the loud noises because it's set up to be really loud when it needs to be.
Yeah.
So yeah.
This does sound kind of cool. The one gripe I had is with the headline that Dan Carlin wants you to relive World War One in VR. How can you relive something that you never lived in the first place?
Well,
All the people that would be capable of reliving this are dead at this point. I don't think there are any World War One veterans left. We have very few World War II veterans at this point.
If you're saying veterans, yes, I agree, because that would make them like 120.
But that's what I'm saying.
But you could have potentially people that were alive that lived it, but not as veterans.
Yeah, but like you're saying,
pretty
much anyone that was alive they're almost gone.
So I just looked it up. The Treaty of Versailles was signed in 1919, so it's technically 100 years old.
Yeah.
And that's why I said 120, because
if you were born in 1919,
yeah, that's good.
But you didn't really live through it, Right.
That's fair.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But that like I said, that's a minor gripe. That's a side thing, but I just don't like the headline. So whoever wrote this article, shame on you. But no, this does seem interesting. I don't know that I don't know many people that have ever wanted to be a doughboy. The World War II has a lot more fandom. A lot cooler things happened. World War I was just dreary and just the worst situation. Before where they were at with technology.
Yeah.
The
difference in technology between World War I and World War II was dramatic.
Well,
and so
yeah, exactly.
It was far more interesting, tactical and technological war.
You want to see cavalry that actually had horses in the mud, trench warfare. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, World War I was really significant. There was
absolutely.
A lot of amazing stuff that happened there as well. So there's lots of cool things to learn and experience. I think it would be a lot of fun. I would be super interested in playing this. Definitely seems cool to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll check it out. Oh, wait, I need a VR thing. Maybe I'll check it out.
I was just checking to see if the Bugle Boy Boogie was public domain, and it's not. So
that would be World War II.
Oh, is it World War II?
Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
my mistake.
Big bang.
Okay.
World War I was over there.
No, I think that was the Revolutionary War.
No,
that was World War.
It was World War I.
Because the French are coming, the French are coming, the French are coming.
The Yanks are coming.
The Yanks are coming. Okay.
Well,
okay.
We'll talk about that song after the fact.
All right. Okay, so apparently Dish has been fighting with HBO and the Univision networks for a while now. Apparently, I didn't know this, where they have not been able to get those channels, HBO or the Univision, and that has caused them to have a significant loss in their subscribers. They have been unable to get to any kind of terms of agreement, which means that they're on top of the problems that they've been having with cord cutters and They apparently have made a huge loss of over 250,000 people in one quarter. So,
Well,
okay, 250,000
you got to
subscribers.
figure right now is the absolute worst time that they
Yeah.
could have ever picked to not have HBO.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Any
There's
other
nothing-
time in any other year, they probably would have done okay, but with the final season of Game of Thrones, yeah, no HBO is not going to fly.
There's nothing to watch on HBO. Come on, what are you
Well,
talking about?
after the next 2 episodes, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I almost didn't show up tonight because I just started Game of Thrones last night, and so I watched the first episode of season 8 last night, and I was like, ugh, I got to choose between watching another episode and doing the VOD Squad.
Oh,
so you guys
great.
should feel special because I chose the VOD Squad
No,
over.
we should feel terrible
next
because it was actually a hard decision for you. See, I just pause what I'm watching, do the show, and then I hit unpause and I go back to watching whatever I was watching.
That's the difference, though. I worked, dropped my daughter off at Taekwondo, came home and did the podcast. So there's no downtime, and I won't be able to watch anything after this. But, you know, it wasn't really a hard decision. But I'm just saying, I sacrificed for you guys.
Right.
And you know why that is? Because I'm here for the patrons.
Oh, all right.
Oh, the patrons. We'll get to that. But yeah, Dish, they're not. I don't. Anybody want to wager on how long before Dish just pulls the plug?
Years.
Years?
Years.
Yeah, I think they'll be. I think Matt's right. I think they'll be around for a while. But
I mean,
yeah,
Dish
but
does
definitely
own Sling TV.
Yes.
But I'm just talking about the actual satellite.
Right.
Part
I
of the
think they'll be.
company.
I think they will be around for
Oh,
years.
I see what you're saying now. Just the satellite part. Yeah.
How
you-
long
you
until
could
they
be right.
say enough's enough? And
Well, if they don't have to put up any more satellites, it's basically doesn't cost them anything to keep the customers they currently have.
no, they're contractually obligated to provide service to the people that have contracts.
Right.
But I'd say stop selling. So we'll say how long until they just stop selling and stop trying to get new customers?
I still think years.
Okay.
I think we're talking a decade.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's going the way of the dinosaur. We can all see that, but they will hold out, and there will be holdouts amongst the population.
Right.
And as long as there's a decent holdout,
And
as
there's
Mike said,
people.
I mean, there
is-
are people that have no alternative. If they
Right.
want cable-ish, then service, then
Yeah.
they have to go with satellite.
I think you just coined something great. Dish. It's cable-ish.
Yes. But I mean, yeah, especially like people out in the desert, remote. But a lot of them also have the option of going with DirecTV. So, and yeah, I don't know.
I think that they will stay that with. They will keep going because it doesn't cost them anything except for every once in a while one of their satellites actually does like either need to be go up there and adjusted, or burns up because they don't stay up forever. So they will get to a point where they can't do that anymore. It doesn't make any sense, and then it'll be done. But until then, years.
Because I know Verizon bailed on the DSL like altogether a couple years ago. They just said, we're out, and they've even bailed on fiber at this point. They sold off out, everything that was Verizon is now Spectrum. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that shakes out.
All right, Epix is awesome company, awesome shows that have already gone through all the other big channels and the other big streaming services, and now it's finally coming to your DirecTV Now viewers. You'll be able to pick up through your DirecTV Now subscription the Epix package for, it looks like, a grand total of $5.99 a month. This is pretty similar to how they've been going to other systems. I think you can get Epix through a couple of the other systems. Like I know you can get it through Roku.
You can get it through Amazon. I was subscribing to Epix for something, and I don't remember what it is now. I was watching something. I mean, it's a fair price, and if you're DirecTV Now, awesome.
All right, awesome. So I'm kind of wondering if we've had this story in previous weeks, but I'm not certain. Looks like YouTube's premium original shows, the ones that they actually were making only for YouTube Premium, are going to be available for an ad-supported solution for so you will have your choice in it. So
we're jumping right into the Google I/O stuff.
Oh, is this Google I/O?
It's Google.
It is Google, but not really Google I/O.
Yeah. No, I mean, we talked about a while back that YouTube was pulling the plug on YouTube Premium. And it's good to know. They were toying with the idea of doing ad-supported. So it's cool to see confirmation that the existing premium originals that will be, I think it's September, will be available. So if there was something that you were holding out, you wanted to watch, you haven't watched Cobra Kai season 2 yet.
Wait till September.
Wait till September if you want, and you can watch it for free with ads. So, I mean, anything that was behind that paywall that people weren't willing to pay for, they'll finally get to watch it. So you guys can watch Origin, which is that space show that I was talking about a few months ago, and Impulse, which was a great show that I wish was going to get another season, but
nope.
Not
and going to.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that on YouTube Premium that I've been talking about, and everyone will get to watch it with commercials.
You just need to stop liking things. You're destroying good things.
I know. I just
Clyde.
need to go back to Clyde hates everything.
Clyde has to go back to either that or go into his little man cave where he never leaves.
But no, when I go into the man cave, I end up watching stuff that I end up liking.
Yeah. Well, just take the thumbs up button away from him, right?
Well, Netflix already did that, and then my response was I stopped watching stuff on Netflix because now my feed is all crap.
That's why it's doing so well, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so YouTube TV is going to be getting being streamable to your smart screen. So basically, if you've got one of the new Google devices with a screen, you will soon be able to use it to watch your YouTube TV. So if you have one in the kitchen, you've always wanted to watch your cooking show while you're cooking, guess what? You'll now be able to do that. It will be also having a different kind of guide than the normal system, one that's more touch-friendly, and you will be able to use your voice, of course, if you want to ask for specific things.
So does this... I didn't think this said you could actually watch the shows. This was just what's live now screen.
I can tell you right now that you will actually be able to watch actual YouTube TV, not any other service, but YouTube TV.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
Google devices.
Maybe
other ones too.
The new on-screen guide though is cool because I don't want to turn on my TV, open up the app just to flip through and see what's playing right now. So yeah, this is cool. If you have a Google Home device or whatever they were calling them, I don't remember what it was called. The one with the screen. It's been around for a while.
It was I forget what they called it before.
Yeah, it was the Home Hub.
Home Hub.
Yes. So then, yeah, that's cool.
Well, so since we're talking about the Home Hub and how we just want to let you know that Google has also come out with a new one, and at the same time they've decided to do the silliest thing to some people, to the smartest thing to other people, where they've gone ahead and changed the name of all those devices from being a Google Home or Google Home Hub device. No, I'm not talking to you. Into a Nest Hub and Nest Hub devices. But the newest one is going to be called the Nest Hub Max. This is a larger version of the smaller smart display. It's got a 10-inch screen. It's got a built-in microphone and a camera, so you can use it to make video calls and video messages. And it has a physical switch on the back, which electrically disables both the microphone and the camera. So if you feel like you don't want those features, you can have them really removed. And it's going to be for sale for $229 when it gets released, which I think is now. I think it's out now.
Yeah, I think it is. I've liked the Home Hub. It seems like the perfect thing to have in a kitchen.
You mean the Nest Hub, right?
No, I was saying I like the Google Home Hub.
No, it's been renamed. It's now the Nest Hub.
But I was talking in past tense.
Oh.
Liked.
But I'm talking in present.
The Home Hub. But it seemed good like in a kitchen or whatever, but if you need to look up a recipe, but it didn't seem to have much use beyond that. The addition of the camera, which theoretically will allow you to do like video calls.
Yep, with Google Duo.
That's the thing it needed. That's the thing that was missing. I don't like. They gotta stop renaming stuff. And also Nest is such a terrible name for a brand.
No, it's a wonderful name for a band. Your home is your nest.
You haven't worked anywhere where people practice nesting. It is a bathroom style from primarily third world countries that is not great to stumble across.
Maybe there is a
anytime I hear the Nest brand, I think of that.
Well, anytime I hear the word nest as referred to your home, I'm just thinking mostly of people who are trying to make their home more homey, more inviting, and especially making your nest something that some people would do to make it more kid-friendly and baby-friendly, kind of a feeling to it. So maybe there's getting a different kind of meaning to that word, but that's okay. But here's the thing: there's some very cool features that they've made for this hub, this Nest Hub Max. One is it will have face recognition, so when it sees you, it will give you your calendar and your reminders, and it will also be able to do a couple hand gestures. The one that they showed off was that when there is an alarm, you will be able to look at it. It will recognize you. You're able to put up your hand, and it will just stop the alarm. And the other one is that it will be able to you'll be able to leave voice messages for people, video messages for people. So when you have one for you, it'll show up as available for you. So you can leave one for your wife or your kids.
It's about time. It's about time we have this. So.
Almost everything this can do could already be done by the Lenovo version of this, which is the one I have in my kitchen, which has the camera. I've been doing the duo calls. I've been doing a lot of this.
But the Lenovo one, wasn't it like $400?
Oh, no. It was like I think I got it on Christmas special for a lot less than that.
Okay. No, but I mean normal price. Normal price. That was the one that was more expensive.
$250 or $300.
Okay, $250, $300. Yeah. I just remember it was significantly more expensive than the Home Hub, but that's the one that had the two speakers, right? It's not
that
just
one has
a speaker on one side.
Speaker on one side.
Oh, then I'm thinking of there's another brand. Then it maybe
the JBL had it was the round one, the speakers on both sides, and Lenovo had one. No, that was the Lenovo one I've got. Somebody else had one.
There was another one, HP or somebody. Yeah, there was one that had two, and that I couldn't buy any of them because they had they only had the speaker on one side, and it drove me nuts. I need the symmetry. All right.
All right. Android TV
Mhm.
is going to be getting a facelift. They're going to be doing a couple changes to it, including linking the assistant to the live TV guide, which means you will be able to actually make real live, hey, what's on channel 6 if you have a channel 6, and show me, turn on, the whatever show you want to pick a show, and it should be able to, if it can see it on the live guide, go straight to it.
Well,
So
Android Assistant in general is being connected to the TV guide. So it doesn't matter what device, as long as you have um, a Google device or you utilizing Google Assistant in some way, you'll be able to access that. But this will be a direct benefit to Android TV, which this feature has been lacking since Google Home or the Google TV. That was one of the great things about Google TV, because you had that built in, and you could jump immediately to stuff.
right.
So this is exciting. This is exciting for me, because I miss my Android TV, but
We need somebody to come out with a new Android TV device that is not by me.
actually, that was
The Mi Box is fine.
one thing we don't have a story for, but there is a representative. I can't think of her name. In charge of Android TV at Google, said that there are new devices coming.
Oh, excellent.
So good. There are people that have been calling for a Pixel Play, as they've been calling it. They need a Pixel version of, because I mean Google kind of they made the initial Android TV, but it wasn't meant to be a long-term production. It was just meant to be a touchstone. That this is what it needs to be at the very least.
Right.
All you other manufacturers run with it. And then that was the Nexus player. But yeah, we need a Pixel one, because the NVIDIA Shield has been around for so long and it has not been updated. There are no new versions, and it's still the best one out there.
And it's still the best one
and
by a long
that is the
shot.
problem. That is the problem. How is this 4 or 5-year-old device still the best one? Why isn't anybody else doing something?
Because NVIDIA has an actually decent graphics processor inside of it versus everybody else.
Well, exactly. But that's what I'm saying is everybody else is slacking. Where
Yes, they are.
They
I agree.
shouldn't be.
Slackers.
Exactly.
All right. Android TV is also getting a redesigned Play Store. It's going to be one of the biggest things about it is that it's going to simplify your ability to sign up for either new apps or especially new TV services. It will be setting up. You'll be able to set it up with a PIN. So once you've enabled a PIN setting for your store on the Android TV, you'll be able to sign in with a PIN and get the service enabled with your Google's account with just a simple PIN setting, making the sign-on process a lot simpler.
And just a tip. People don't like to remember stuff, so if you find out somebody's Google Play PIN, you probably have their ATM PIN and their voicemail PIN and the PIN to everything else in their life.
And possibly the last 4 digits of their social security number.
Probably. Very likely.
40% chance.
Yeah, and one other thing that they talked about with this is that when you're flipping through looking at apps, it will show you a live demo of the app. So, which is cool. So like a preview. Think of like what Netflix does, whether you want them to or not, where you select something.
Auto preview thing.
Yeah, it does the auto preview. So it's going to do something similar to that, which in this case is good because so many times you go, well, I think I want this app, but you don't know until you act like what it looks like or how it works until you install it, and then you go, nope, hate it, and then you have to go back and delete it. At least you can preview it. So that's really cool.
Very cool.
And then I just wanted to say welcome back to TNT and TBS.
Well, that's because
Hmm.
TNT and TVS are getting their apps returning to the Android TV platform. It looks like that they, well, as soon as the new Play Store with version 5, they're going to be available in time for you to watch your TNT and TBS shows right directly from their own built-in apps. So
Yeah.
good stuff.
No, well, the version 5 is when they disappeared.
Oh,
Because
is it?
version 5 is when they did the big did the big overhaul to the app architecture. And
Okay.
TNT and TBS just said, "Meh, we're out." So they've
Aw.
been gone. And this is good because I like a lot of the stuff I watch is on TBS. I like a lot of the TBS comedies, and the TBS app is great because it's free.
Yep.
You don't have to authenticate with another service. You just go in there. If you might have to watch a couple ads, but you get you get the new stuff as it's coming out. Watch The Last OG and The Guest Book and Final Space, and there's a lot of cool stuff on TBS. They get me.
Hmm.
All right, and let's see here. We have a note here from Philo. It looks like they're expanding what you can do with your voice commands, and now they're going to allow you to use that on your Android TV, which means that you will be able to say "Open BBC American" on Philo, and it will be able to go directly to that channel, which is this deep integration, which is pretty awesome.
Yep, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. They made this announcement for the Roku.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited that they're not stopping there. They want this integration pretty much everywhere that they are that they exist. So I wouldn't be surprised for you Android or Amazon fans out there if this doesn't come to the Fire uh, or the Echo integration soon. But
Yep.
yeah,
More services need to do this.
absolutely. But it's something that it's bragging rights for Philo, because one of the things they're like, hey, we're cheaper. Well, not that much cheaper anymore. Oh, but we have like complete integration into the speaking thing that you want to do. Oh, okay.
Yep.
So
And I believe that is the end of the news.
that is the end of Google I/O coverage for us. There was a lot of other stuff, but it doesn't really pertain to what we like to
Lots
talk
of
about.
other stuff.
Yeah, so if you're like me and completely missed Google I/O, go out and look. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it sounds like Android TV is finally becoming viable. I mean, it's getting the features that you've had with other solutions like the Fire TV for a year now.
What are you talking about? What feature?
Deep integrations.
No. That's a single app.
Yeah.
They've already had the do
So
whatever.
so they do it with others. It's just finally being added to Philo.
And they Android Assistant can work with most everything as it stands.
Okay.
It was just that Philo's taking it even further with the integration.
Well, you mentioned like the camera showing up on the Google Home and stuff like that, which you've had on other Google devices already. But yeah, I mean, nothing here sounds terribly exciting to me. That's the one sad thing I come out of this. I'm sure that they had some exciting announcements, but this crop of things, it's kind of run of the mill stuff. So
see, the most exciting thing is that people were starting to worry, or they have been worrying for a couple of years, that Google was kind of didn't care about Android TV, like it was going to be abandoned, like Google tends to do. And this year was Google saying, "Whoa, no. We're still doing stuff."
Right.
And I mean, we did talk about a couple weeks ago that Google has like over 50 million apps or something like that on Android TV.
And a large percentage of the set-top box market too.
Yes,
Big,
and
huge.
especially since they are now becoming set-top boxes for like cable providers like Comcast and stuff like that. So yeah, it's it's the platform that people tend to forget about, but it never actually went away, and it's got a loyal fan base that is growing every year as more and more people become aware of it. So,
You know, Google has never been good at advertising their own products.
no.
I mean, name a single Google product which basically you heard from Google and felt excited about.
Gmail.
Really? You actually, that was mostly word of mouth, especially since it was on a
Google
invite
Plus?
only. No, they really did not do well at that. They don't do well at making their own products sound enticing from them. They
Don't be evil.
That was not them trying to advertise their product. That was just an internal thing, internal documentation of how they should respond. But basically the best thing that they've probably done that is with the Pixel 3, with the Pixel phones, and particularly with the Pixel 3, and they might be doing the same thing with other phones as well.
The one thing that I do remember them like tooting their own horn very loudly and repetitively was for Google Photos or basically Google Drive auto backup. Never run out of space on your phone again. And you'd see all because they had those commercials with the Apple or the iOS users trying to take a picture, but their memory was full.
Not enough space.
And it's like, nope. Android phones, they just automatically back up and they can clear out the old stuff automatically, so you always have space.
Right. Yeah, but that was probably
that was like I said. That's the only thing I remember seeing like actual commercials for.
Right.
So.
Okay.
All right. Well, we've almost burned through all of our time, so quickly we should get out there. And Mike already touched on it a little bit earlier, but we do owe a debt of gratitude to. Who are they? Who are we talking about?
Our patrons.
Our Patreon.
Oh, that's right, the patrons. Yes, definitely the patrons. The people that shell out their own hard-earned money that they got through their own blood, sweat, and tears to support this thing that we do every week where, you know, Mike's not even sure if he's going to come because he'd rather be watching Game of Thrones. But he even said the only reason he came is because of the patrons, the obligation
to
the patrons.
They're my bosses. It's our job. We got to be here.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But yeah, so to all of you that support us every month, we thank you. It's awesome, and I don't know what else to say.
And if you like what we do here and you feel like you might want to be a patron, you can go ahead and go to patreon.com/thebot-squad.
Amen. All right. Well, we should get over and check in with Big Voice Jay.
Welcome to Movie Draft Minute, presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of May 6, 2019. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay. Remember, stressed is desserts spelled backwards. Let's go to the scoreboard. Team Retro Ms. 3's in last place, still waiting for its first film. Team Devon Squad's in 5th place with Ugly Dolls giving them $9.6 million. Team Drunk Kids Gaming is in 4th place with $21.8 million. Team Game Night gets $11 million from Longshot and 3rd place with $122 million. Team Have a Drink is in 2nd place with $620.5 million. And Team Movie Party's in 1st place with a whopping $867.6 million. That's your Stream Team Movie Draft Minute. All totals are accurate as of May 8th, 2019.
I will say this won't be the first time that anybody hit $1 billion. I'm guessing this is the first time anybody hit $1 billion this fast. Because last year I hit $1 billion, but that was late in the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, we got what, like 700 million just from one movie.
You'll be
in
pushed
2
over
weeks.
You'll be pushed over to $1 billion with John Wick in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh,
You're,
yeah.
you're
So,
just lucky that everybody was busy watching Game of Thrones and Endgame, so they couldn't go watch Ugly Dolls, because that would have been a $200 million movie.
yeah.
I mean,
you know, that is unfortunate.
Game night's lucky. That's what I should
But
say.
you know
Game
what?
night's
But you know what else is fortunate? I put my money on the long shot, and it was the right thing to do because somebody owes me dinner.
Okay.
Apparently,
enough.
I'm owed 3 dinners.
Fair enough.
No, the deal we made
I'm kidding.
was that everybody that went to CES would buy
A winner.
the winner of the
So you,
dinner.
you're
So,
stuck carrying.
in theory, we could have split your dinner 3 ways, and you would have had to buy us 3 dinners. But since we know it's probably just going to be you and I,
this.
I'll be buying you dinner.
Michael, I'll send you some money. We'll talk later about how much I should send you, but I'll send you some.
Yeah. So
No, it actually was a pretty close for those two
It
versus Long Shot and Ugly Doll. It was. I did not expect it to be close at all. I did truly expect Ugly Dolls to do very well. The reason why I expected it to do very well is because A, it is a kids movie when there aren't really many other kids movies. B, it has a bunch of voice talent in it that is actually surprising how much they put in there. C, it was advertised actually a lot. Apparently, a lot of money was put into the advertisement for it. And D, it has these deals with various companies like McDonald's and everything. They put a lot of money into that.
But did
too.
you
They
see the
dumped it
preview?
into it. I saw the preview. Yeah.
Oh, it looks terrible.
It looked
I
like a
agree with-
silly kids movie.
Even my kids were like,
Yeah, I agree with Matt, though. I think that I'm surprised it didn't do as well. It all boils down, in my opinion, to the fact that Endgame did second weekend numbers that beat out most movies' first weekend numbers.
yeah.
And it totally stole everybody. Like, anybody that was going to go see a movie pretty much went to see Endgame again or for the first time.
You know,
So,
and there's
just no box office money to go to these secondary movies.
talk that by the end of the summer, Endgame could be $1 billion by itself.
Yes, it could be.
Which
Yeah.
then I gotta say, has anybody hit 2 billion yet? Because between it and John Wick, I've got another at least 600 million coming in. So
No.
No way.
John Wick won't get you that much money.
actually,
You want to bet that steak dinner?
no. I'm looking up John Wick because the last one did exponential numbers. So let's see. The first one did 43 million, right?
Mhm.
And it ended up being so good that the second one did 92.
Yep.
So I'm looking at probably 150.
It's yeah.
It continues the trend, but doesn't always happen that way.
No,
just
no,
so you
no.
know.
But there's enough buzz around it and enough, people have been like, yes, definitely go back, watch those, and go see it because it's apparently a great franchise.
I think it'll hit 100 million. I don't think it'll go much above that. Remember, it's an R-rated movie. R-rated movies underperform at the box office continually, so it will do well in the secondary market, but it will struggle in the box office. You won't get much over 100 million.
That's okay. But it Chapter 2 is gonna be significantly more. The opening weekend will be significantly more than the last one, and it did. Opening weekend was 123 million opening weekend for the first one, so probably 150 opening weekend.
I doubt it.
I'm not going to get the full movie. I'm only getting 4 weeks, but I think it'll.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I still don't think it's going to do as well as you think. I'm sure it'll do just fine, but I don't think it'll be that good.
I think.
That's all.
I mean, he's. I think he's close on this one. I think it's going to do probably 200 million in his 4 weeks, and maybe 250 because pretty much everybody that saw the first one is going to see the second one. It did 320 million.
Plus all the people that held off on watching the first one because they didn't think it was going to be good, and then are kicking themselves because crap.
Yeah, and you've got people that just wanted to wait so they could watch it all at once, right?
Yeah.
Like once you find out it's a 2-part movie, some people hold off, and I mean, it's not like they don't know the story. Anybody that's excited to see this knows the story, so it's not being spoiled for them to just wait and watch it all contiguously and rent the movie or watch it on Netflix or whatever. I don't know how you can watch it, but I think it'll do well. I think that 200 easy, maybe approaching 300. Probably not in 4 weeks though.
No.
I think we're going to do well when Dark Phoenix is released. I think all the Game of Thrones people are going to watch that.
I think the fact that we got things like Ugly Dolls and our next week's movie, The Hustle, for so cheap is going to be our saving grace, because we bought all these movies for so cheap that Ugly Dolls is not going to probably make the $6 we spent on it worth, but we will easily make that up with other movies. So I think that we're going to be okay. I'm still aiming for second place. Sorry, Clyde.
No, I hope you guys get second place. I'm rooting for you to get second place.
Speaking of The Hustle, we're having that as opening next weekend, right next to Detective Pikachu. Another interesting matchup. I think Detective Pikachu will win this weekend.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's going to do as well as everybody's thinking it's going to.
I don't. And that is Have a Drink's last chance to catch me. That's their last movie. So if their entire summer rests on Detective Pikachu at this point.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't think you're gonna make it.
I don't know. I've already got tickets. I'm seeing it opening weekend, and
I'm gonna go see it, and I'm gonna absolutely love it. Sorry,
so it's gonna tank.
It's worth. Yeah,
it's gonna do Blade Runner money. It's gonna do Blade Runner money.
Go see it. So I still think it's going to do quite well. I am super excited about it. I mean, also, have you watched any of the extra marketing material around this? The stuff
I've seen a couple of the different trailers, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Well, no, I mean like the Ryan Reynolds promotional stuff that he did. He did a Google or YouTube. I mean, Ryan Reynolds method actor. He talks about how he went method to be Pikachu.
Yeah, I think I saw that one.
Okay,
yeah, it's okay.
I found it quite humorous.
Alrighty, well, why don't we get in some rants, some raves, and we'll get this all wrapped up. Good enough. I don't want to mess with it. All right. So, rants, raves. I forgot to say that Game of Thrones is off limits. So, anything else?
Right.
Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and start, Jimmy. No spoilers, though.
No spoilers. So I started watching Game of Thrones this past weekend.
Like from episode 1?
From episode 1, season 8, episode 1.
Oh.
And I always come in late and all that, because usually I like to watch 1, maybe 2 episodes, and wait a little bit, but I got to say, this season is great. I started watching episode 1, had to watch the second and then the third, and I watched the 4th episode, I think, Monday night. And I have to say, man, it is a really good story this season. I mean, I don't think it's ever been disappointing on any of the seasons, right? But this season, well, it's because, okay, so we got this 8-season story, and there's a lot of stories that's been kind of building, right? You've been waiting for that ending. So you're starting to get some of those answers, right? That you've been waiting for the previous 7 seasons, right? And it's just it's a good story. Yeah, and Wabbit, yeah, Billions. I've been watching that show too. Billions is another good one that's good this season. Yeah, Billions is great. I think I might be the latest episode. I didn't get to watch that one because I was watching Game of Thrones, right? And so I need to watch the latest episode on that one.
And did you finish Bosch, or is Game of Thrones taking away from Bosch?
It's been taken away from Bosch, but I think I'm about 5 or 6 episodes into Bosch. Also, excellent show this year. Excellent show. I mean, plenty. I mean, you got no reason to gripe about the entertainment this year, right? Bosch, excellent. Game of Thrones, excellent. And Billions, another excellent show. Can't recommend those 3 shows. You should watch all 3.
All right. I likewise, same old stuff for me, except I added Game of Thrones. I only got through episode 1. Absolutely loved it. If it wasn't for the fact that I was in a new job, I would have probably called in sick the next day and just binged all 4 episodes. Unfortunately, no. I've got a new job. I've got to be responsible. So I watched 1 episode and then went to bed, and that was last night. So I'm right there with you. It's really great. Very much enjoying where it is. I'm kind of, keeping a little weary about looking on anything social media like. Definitely don't miss the culture of Monday morning, got to walk in and talk about Game of Thrones, where I have to put my headphones on and listen to the music really loud so I don't hear everybody spoiling the show. So, yeah.
So for me, I watched Game of Thrones. No, I didn't. I haven't watched any Game of Thrones.
You haven't even watched the first season.
No, I did watch the first season.
Oh, wait, sorry. You haven't watched beyond the first season.
Not just the first season.
You watched the best season.
Yeah, it was enough for me. I didn't need to see any more. It was really great, and I'm sure what you guys are watching is also really great. That's wonderful. Some other time. Anyways, so I've not been watching Game of Thrones. I've not
Endgame, for sure.
I have not seen Endgame yet. I'm going to finally get to see it this Saturday. My tickets have been purchased. So, and the interesting thing about Endgame is that it has been ridiculously hard to avoid spoilers on the internet.
Yeah.
It's getting really bad.
Shut off the internet for the week.
It's getting just browsing the news is like, oh, damn it.
Wait, you're browsing the nudes and you still get Endgame spoilers?
Yeah, it's that bad. So, it's not what I said, but that's okay.
Roll back the tape. I'm pretty sure it was.
This weekend was free comic book weekend, which means if you didn't go out to your local comic book shop and pick up some free comic books, oh man, you totally should. We did.
What is this thing you're talking about?
There are free comic books that you can pick up at your comic book shop once a year. Sometimes it's just one. Sometimes it's a multiple. My local comic book shop lets you. They have a huge rows of comics, and you can pick up any 3 you like. And my son and I walked in, and we both picked up 3. And I gave the 3 I picked to my son and said, "Enjoy." And there you go. So that, and then I bought a bunch of stuff for myself because they have, of course, a big sale that weekend. And other than that. So lots of comic book stuff happens for me. Lots of fun things there. The only other thing that's going on. Go ahead.
I got this at my comic shop on sale because they were doing the big sale on free comic book day. It's C-3PO and Low Gray Funko Pop movie scenes. In addition, I also got some comics, of course, and free comic book day is the best. Sales,
I have never heard of this.
Giveaways. Yep. It's the first weekend of May.
Yep.
So
And the other thing is just normal television watching. When I get the chance, it's been Marvelous Miss Maisel, trying to catch up on that. I've been watching Whiskey Calavera, that's still fun. And The Code, which we started and we've caught up on, is also really good. So not much else I've been watching, but yeah, it's been all good stuff.
Cool. Yeah, last week I forgot to rant about episode 3 of Game of Thrones. I'd like to say I liked what I saw. The problem is you couldn't see anything. It took me 3 sittings to get through that episode because I kept going, forget it. And you couldn't see anything. And so, you know, for all of the bragging that everybody kept, you know, the hoopla about it's the biggest battle scene ever, like, prove it. I don't see anything happening.
That was the one thing I got in my efforts to avoid YouTube or spoilers was the spoiler of episode 3 gets real dark.
Well, and you thought that was like metaphoric, right?
No, it was clearly intended to be playing off the metaphorical dark, but literally dark because
it's like I took that as they built it up as we had all these people and it's so awesome. Well, make it so dark that they can't prove that it's not.
They're like, oh my gosh, this is awful. What are we going to do? Just make it darker. Nobody will know.
But see, here's where I have to brag on my OLED television. It looked great.
Well, but see, that right there is the downside for the plasma has amazing blacks. When it's black, it's black. So you don't have that bleed through like you do with an LCD. So yeah, when they do those dark scenes, it's real black.
Well,
it's not that gray.
That's Jimmy's point, though, is his OLED has higher contrast and it has those true blacks as well.
Yeah. But it's a lot brighter.
But it's a lot brighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the performance of the OLED too. You can see the action. I think it gets. I think some TVs when it gets really dark like that, the performance goes down, so it's hard to see. Yeah. You lose the definition of what's there. But on the OLED, you can actually see it. Yeah. Right, you can see it.
So definitely won't be able to watch it on my TCL. It's a little bit dark and has trouble in the really dark gradations. Probably my LG also. It's a little bit on the darker side. I probably am going to have to go buy an OLED before I watch episode 3.
All right.
Thanks, Jim.
So he's going to watch episode 3 in a couple years.
You can just come to my house there, Mike, and watch it here.
Okay. I think it'd be cheaper to buy the TV.
A plane ticket? You get a plane ticket for a
round trip ticket to Miami, and maybe not quite as expensive, but close enough.
Yeah, well, West Palm Beach, use that airport.
You did find those $125 tickets to Minneapolis, and then you can catch a $200 Sun Country flight to Orlando. There you go. All right. Then let's wrap this thing up. Everybody, thanks for hanging out. Stick around for the post show. There are titles that we need to vote on. And if you're checking this or tuning in after the fact, you should join us live because this is where all the fun is. You get to participate, submit titles, then vote on said titles. You get to decide what we call this show. But we're here. Join us live Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Central, every week here on Twitch. And to the patrons, thank you so much. We love you. And everybody, let's shut this down.
Okay.
Laters.
Bye.
Bye.
May the fourth be with you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.